Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So let's start today's current affairs session. We are going to cover news between August 19 to August 25. So whatever important current affairs, so the summary of those will be this time for your reference. These are the summary, these are the news which I'm going to cover for today's current affairs session. So should CGI the part of committee selecting CEC? I hope I have already discussed about election commissions and the one of verdict of Supreme Court, in which Supreme Court has made some rules, certain rules about how election commission will get elected. So I'll discuss that how government has turned that down and what is the new rules or new laws by the government. So about selection of election commission, government has introduced new law. So I'll discuss about those new law. Next topic is about BRICS. Recently, you might have heard, or those who are reading newspaper might be aware that Pradhan Mantri has visited Johannesburg, that is in South Africa, and it is regarding the BRICS meeting. Okay, and 6 new members have been included in the BRICS. Earlier, there were 5 members and 6 new. So total 11 members in the BRICS. Okay, so I'll discuss who are those 6 new members. वो 6 नए members कौन-कौन से हैं? That I'll discuss. Okay. Next about is Kacha Tibu controversy. It is an island in Sri Lanka. And recently, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has said that India should retrieve this island. This island is currently with the Sri Lanka. And time and again, it's nothing new. Time and again, many Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has made this as a political issue and asked Sri Lankan government to return back this island, because this island originally belongs to a king of India. But in 1974, India with an agreement has handed over this island to Sri Lanka. So if we talk after independence, there is an agreement and this island, this Kacha Tibu island has been given to Sri Lanka. But since earlier, you can say before independence, there was a king or ruler who was ruling from India, and that island was ruled by that ruler. So that's by Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, even Jayalalitha, even before that in 1991 also, those are Chief Minister, they always claim that this island belongs to India and Tamil Nadu fishermen has right to fish, doing fishery activities in this island. But if we go by the law, or if we go by the international treaty, this island belongs to Sri Lanka. But it is in the news because recently, you can say M.K. Stalin has made a controversy by saying that India should retrieve this island. You might be aware about Sri Lanka and India and some of the issues of Indian Tamil and Sri Lankan Tamil that you read in basics polity. But this island is related to that only. Next topic is anti-ragging policy in India. This topic is related to recently in Jadhavpur University of Kolkata, one student that is 18-year or 22-year student has died by suicide, and it is due to ragging. Ragging has done with him by seniors, and due to that he chose the way of suicide. So that's a very sad news or very sad affair. Many of you might be in colleges or have already passed from the college, and you might be know that ragging law has been strengthened in the college. Still, some of the college there is a incident of ragging. So this is a news. Yes, I mean last week news and was viral a lot. Next is why Shimla is crumbling. I hope all those who are in social media might be seeing lots of video of landslide, might be seeing lots of video of cloudburst, might be seeing lots of video of building getting just destroyed by the rain. So why it is happening? Although it's a very generic news that once nature will take its revenge, it will take everything away with him. Okay, we had a fight with nature. We tried to disturb the nature. We tried to stop the way river path. We tried to stop the way of forestation, deforestation. So these are the human activity. Once nature starts its activity, it is cloudburst, it is landslide, it's the nature activity. So you can say that nature is taking its revenge, although it's a very sad state. Whatever data has been given by the Principal Secretary of Himachal Pradesh recently, 347 people have already died, 80 people is missing, and around 8,000 crore loss has been faced by the Himachal Pradesh. 8,000 crore, and it is expected that 12,000 crore means 8,000 is the current number. It can go up to 12,000 crore. So it's a figure. Just I'm giving you a fact and figure. that how rain is destroying Simla. But our motive is to read what are the causes, why we are facing this, and what could be have been done to avoid this. Okay. Next, we are going to read about drilling in the North Sea. It is done by Britain. Okay. That is, you can say, the Prime Minister of Britain, Rishi Sunak, and this other country is opposing that. What is this? This will read in detail. Onion price rising. Just last week, we have discussed about tomato price rising. This week, it's onion price rising. And the last topic of today is National Award. In National Award, we are going to read what are the movies that have been got National Award and name of those movies, and also that we have a list of those movies. So you can read by that. Okay. So let's start the first topic, although not in the list, but very important, because I have already discussed about this topic, that is Chandrayaan-3, its feature and all. I have already discussed in one of the news. So that's why details about what is Chandrayaan-3, name of the lander, I hope you remember, I have already discussed. The name of the lander is Vikram. The Vikram is the lander which has safely landed on moon. 4 other countries, you can say India is the 4th country to you can say reach there. US, Russia, and China. 3 other countries: US, Russia, and China. After that, India is the 4th one to do that. And you might have heard or read in the newspaper that first one to reach South Pole. Do not confuse that India is the first one to reach on the moon. Before India, 3 countries already reached on the moon. That is US, China, and Russia. But India is the first country to reach on the South Pole of the moon. That is on the south side. So India is the first country to reach South Pole of the moon. Okay. And 4th country to reach successfully on the moon. Name of the lander is Vikram. And the point is where this lander has landed, the point has been named as Shiv Shakti. This has been done today morning itself. Pradhan Mantri has named that point as a Shiv Shakti point, at the point where this lander has landed. Rest, all other details I have already discussed. If someone is confused, please visit the previous slide about Chandrayaan-3, what are the lander, what is the detail, how it has been sent and all. I have already discussed. Okay. Most point is what is the main aim of it? To find water on the moon. Okay. Since the traces of ice has been found in South Pole, the images which have been sent by earlier lander, it has been seen that the traces of water on South Pole. So that's why India has attempted to send its lander on South Pole. And main aim of this Chandrayaan-3 is to find water or traces of water and discover more minerals and etc. on the moon. Okay, so that's all about Chandrayaan-3. Congratulations to all ISRO scientists who was involved in this. And it was our 3rd attempt, and the name itself clear. Chandrayaan-1, we could not be successful. Chandrayaan-2, Vikram lander lost contact with the ISRO, and Chandrayaan-3, we are successful. I hope you remember that figure, which is getting viral on every day, that India has started in 1973, that Sriharikota, with a rocket on a bicycle. So from that point, we have reached at a point that we are the 4th country in the world to reach on the moon. A point where India was taking a rocket on the bicycle, and a point where we have done this achievement. Even if you see that our next mission is Gaganyaan mission, so we are trying to explore on the you can say space more. And next following mission is Aditya. Aditya mission is for the sun. So these are the lined up mission. If we talk about moon, then some of the more mission lined up for the moon is US commercial lunar payload services and lunar trailblazer mission, China's lunar communications and navigation satellite, and Japan's smart lander for investigation on moon. So China, USA, and Japan, these 3 countries have lined up for the moon mission, next moon mission, you can say, because they already have presence on the moon. So they are the next lined up for the moon mission. And if you think about Russia, who already have succeeded in sending moon before, but failed in Luna 25. In the previous session, I have discussed about Luna 25, and I have already said that the Luna 25 and Chandrayaan-3 both have the same date of reaching on the moon, that is 23rd August. Okay, but Luna 25 crashed while landing on the moon, but India Chandrayaan 3 successfully landed on the moon. So this again shows our scientists' effort that even in first successful attempt also, in second attempt, Russia is not able to land safely, but we have done this. So it's a tremendous effort and all. So that's all about Chandrayaan 3. Rest detail that what is the difference between 1, 2, and 3 that you can read in previous current affair which I have discussed. Okay, so let's start with the today's topic, that is CEC, Central Election Commission. If we talk about polity, it is mentioned in Article 324 of Indian Constitution. So Article 324 to 329 deals about Chief Election Commissioner or Election Commission. What is the role of Election Commissioner? The role of Election Commissioner is to conduct election smoothly. That is state election and central election. The Panchayat election is conducted by State Election Commissioner. Okay, but all state election and you can say central election or by-election are conducted by Chief Election, that is Election Commission. Now, what is the so much cry about this and why we are reading this? Okay, earlier the appointment of Chief Election Commissioner and 2 other election commissioners. It is a three body team, you can say. So 2 election commissioner and 1 is a chief election commissioner. So earlier their appointment was done directly by Prime Minister, or you can say President, because finally the file is signed by the President. So appointment was directly by the President on the recommendation of Cabinet. But one fine day, one person, Anup, that I'll discuss, Anup raised to the Supreme Court, and he said that it affects the neutrality of Election Commission. Election Commission के neutrality पे affect करता है. It is not a neutral way of selecting Election Commission. And I hope we all have read basic class 6 books of polity. There it has been taught to us that for a country to be democratic, it is not only required election to be conducted, it requires that election should be free and fair. So to election to be free and fair, it is mandatory that election commissioner, the person who is conducting election, should be neutral or should be appointed neutral. So this was the argument. Many argument was put forward regarding this in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave its verdict, and Supreme Court has said that since Parliament has not made any law regarding this, so we are making some process by which election commissioner will be appointed. So Supreme Court has said that it will be having 3 panel team, 3 panel. One, CJI, Chief Justice of India, another Prime Minister, and the third one in the team will be leader of opposition. That means whosoever party is enjoying the leader of opposition position, he will be the third one. So these 3 members together will sit and elect 1 member as a Chief Election Commissioner. So whosoever they want, these 3, majority by 2, that is 2-1, either it can be 2-1 or 3-0 also. So these 3 persons will select one of the as an election commissioner. But what government, or you can say Parliament or executive has done, they had amended this law and said that instead of CJI, it will be cabinet minister. So in Supreme Court verdict, the first one was CJI, but in government law, it is cabinet minister. Second one will be same as Prime Minister, and the third one will be also same, leader of opposition. So now see, cabinet minister will also be from the ruling party, Prime Minister will also be from the ruling party, leader of opposition will be opposition party. But since the majority will be 2-1, so in any case, the basic question which we were asking that, or basic question which has been raised, that the neutrality of the election commissioner, appointment of election commissioner still remains the same, because the 2 person becomes independent, that is CJI and leader of opposition, Prime Minister. So all 3 persons are independent and neutrality is seen here. But if we see the law which has been passed by the Parliament, in that neutrality is in the questions. Now there is a 2 point. In one way we can see that it is wrong. How can executive or legislative completely turn or completely take the opposite route regarding judiciary? If a verdict has been given by judiciary and judiciary has said that one of the member will be CJI, you are directly opposing that and saying that no, CJI will not be the member will be cabinet minister. So you are equivalenting CJI with a cabinet minister. So that's not the case. Judiciary is different, executive or legislative is different. So why it is done? Now the question arises here two parts. First of all, we can, if we see the basic quality, we have to see that whether it is judicial activism, who has right to decide how a person will be appointed in executive or in, you can say, legislative. Who has this right to decide? Absolutely, this right lies with the government. Okay, that means president, prime minister, or parliament. It does not lie with the judiciary. So judiciary has no role to say that what will be the process of deciding the election commissioner, how will be election commissioner need to be appointed. So judiciary has no role to play in this. But why judiciary has given this verdict? Because judiciary said that since no process exists, so we are giving a process. Earlier there was no process. According to Article 324, there was no process. Anyone can be appointed. So judiciary has said that we are giving one process. Now government is saying no, the process which has been given by judiciary is not correct. We are amending that process. So it should not be seen like that it is opposite to judiciary. Actually, it is the part of, or it is the role of executive or legislative that to decide how a person will be appointed. It is not the part of judiciary. A captain will decide how a team will be. Now the point again remains that is about neutrality, whether this process will ensure neutrality of chief election commissioner. So for that, we always have read that since they have a tenure of 5 years, once a person is appointed, he has a tenure of 5 years, and during his tenure, he cannot be influenced by executive or judiciary. So we can assure that anyone will be appointed, he will be doing his constitutional duty in proper way. So that's all we can say. Although if we talk about moral way, everything have two way of seeing, looking into. When you are appearing for UPSC, one is moral way or ethical way, and another one is a constitutional way, or you can say judiciary, or you can say what is written in constitutional. If we look into the constitutional part, we can say that government is absolutely right on its part. But if we say that moral and ethical part, we would say that it would be better had CGI be the part of that, and it would have been look more neutral. It could have been looked more neutral had CGI be remained the part of that. But anyhow, if we talk about moral and ethical and constitutional should have a higher order in that. So that's all about this topic. If I want to summarize that topic, it's a simple way. Chief Election Commissioner is the one who conduct election in India. There was an appeal against the appointment of Chief Election Commissioner. Earlier, government used to appoint Chief Election Commissioner, as President used to appoint Chief Election Commissioner on the suggestion of Cabinet. The Supreme Court has given a new way of appointing Chief Election Commissioner, and Supreme Court has said that Chief Election Commissioner will be appointed by 3-panel body, and that panel will consist of CGI, Prime Minister, and Leader of Opposition. But recently in the Parliament monsoon session, government has tabled a bill, and government has said that no, Chief Justice of India will not be part of appointment panel. Since it's a government role, since it's duty of government, since Constitution has given power to the government or legislative to decide how appointment of Chief Election Commissioner will be done, so they are absolutely fine, or they are absolutely right on the part of Constitution. But if we talk about moral values, if we talk about ethical values, if we talk about neutrality, it could have looked more neutral if CGI would be the part of that panel. So that's all in this news. So you can read in details. We'll share this, you can say this everything in details to you once the classes get over. Next, about BRICS. I hope you might be reading newspaper, and you might have heard about the BRICS mission, BRICS Sammelan going on recently, and Indian Prime Minister Pradhan Mantri Modi has visited Johannesburg, that is South Africa. Earlier it had a 4-member. If we elaborate this BRICS, by name itself clear. By B, it's Brazil. If we talk about R, it's Russia. If we talk about I, it's India. If we talk about C, it's China. So once BRICS was formed, these are the 4 major nations: India, Russia, Brazil, and China. Later on, South Africa get added. So it becomes a 5-member multilateral organization, you can say. And recently 6 new members have been added in this. So BRICS is now 11-member nation. So when it started, it was a 4-member nation. After some years, South Africa get added, and so it become 5-member nation. Now currently 6 more nation, or you can say 6 more country has been added in this. That is Argentina. 6 more country, if someone want to note it down, it's Argentina, Egypt. That's why Pradhan Mantri even visited Athens, Greece, you can say. Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and UAE. Ethiopia and UAE. So these are the 6 new nations which have been added in the BRICS. Okay, BRICS is a regional group which generally you can say sometimes it is also called anti-US establishment. Okay, since you know that US is a major superpower, so these superpower coming together to you can say just to fight dollar in the economic sense, or just to together looking into the development agenda. So it's an anti-US establishment also. That's why you can say Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, UAE, these are the some new advantage. What would be the advantage now? Since Saudi Arabia added in this group, so it will be oil, you can say regulations will be easy with the BRICS country. Okay, so they are you can say regional groups which is which dealing with the economic policies, some of the all multilateral policies. So the major news or current affair purpose of this news is that 6 new member gets added, and it will increase the stature of BRICS, as well as it will help other members, those previous 5 members, in various other things. So 6 members, BRICS members have made a significant decisions to expand the grouping by including 6 new countries. Okay, if you look into the name of those new countries, you will find it that it looks somewhat anti-US establishment. GS2 bilateral region. Okay. The announcement was made at the conclusion of the 15th BRICS summit held in Johannesburg. So this you need to note down for the prelims point of purpose, where this summit has been held. It has been held in Johannesburg. Prime Minister Narendra Modi revealed the expansion plan, stating that this move would reinforce the grouping and promote confidence in the concept of multipolar world order. So it will I hope you have heard about Cold War and bipolar order. So it could not be bipolar, it's multipolar. India, every country is looking for multipolar by order, and many countries are coming together and forming a regional group like BRICS. You might be aware that G20, a Sammelan going on in India, 8, 9, 10 has been declared a public holiday because lots of you can say prime ministers, presidents coming to India. So G20 also such type of group. So many type of BRICS, European Union. So these are the some groups or regional group which comes together for economic benefit, defense benefit, and various other benefits. So BRICS is one of them. Okay, the decision of expansion aims to strengthen the organization and inject new dynamism and energy to its structure. So its expansion will lead to add more nations and more variety to the groups. Argentina, Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates are the 6 new countries to join BRICS. Iran, Saudi Arabia, and UAE hold special significance as they represent both sides energy-rich country within the BRICS. So it will help to solving energy programs in the BRICS group. Okay, Iran and Saudi Arabia simultaneously entry makes a notable diplomatic decisions coming after normalization of relations in April. I hope we have already deal a topic between war between Iran and Saudi Arabia, and if they both are coming in the BRICS group, so it will help. Okay, the expansion decision was reached based on agreed guiding principle, standard criteria, and procedure. So this is the news. 6 new members has been added in the BRICS. Next topic we have regarding one of island. This island name is Kacha Thibu. It is the name of island, and currently it is with Sri Lanka. Time and again, different chief minister of Tamil Nadu or different leader of Tamil Nadu claim it to be part of India and ask Indian government to retain. Although center stand on this, that is central government stand on this is pretty clear. Center say that it is the part of Sri Lanka. In 1974 agreement, we have given this island to Sri Lanka. So it will be island of Sri Lanka only. It cannot come to India. So this is about island Kachatibu, which is a part of Sri Lanka as of now. But sometime or every now and then, for political benefit, you can say, or for their sentiment, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister claims to be part of India. So that has happened. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has reignited the debate on the Kachatibu island, calling for retrieve from Sri Lanka. Okay, so that's the news. You can say current affair. You can remember the name of island. Kachatibu is a small, uninhabited island spanning at 285 acres, located in the Park State. If you know the history, the right side, you can see the history. Historical part of Raja Ramanand territory. So it was historical part of Raja Ramanand. This ruler Raja Ramanand was from India. So historically, matlab, you can say sometime before it was part of India. Right now it is not the part of India. So if right now it is not the part of India and so many agreement has already done on that, so why to claim on that? Okay, so it's a, you can say, political gimmick. So earlier it was part of India because Raja Ramananda was ruling on that. Sri Lanka stated claiming it, owing it a strategic location, since it have a very good fishery activities in this island. So that's why Sri Lanka start claiming on that. 1974, Indira government gave it to the Sri Lanka as a part of larger agreement. So 1974, it has been, there is an agreement between India and Sri Lanka, and it has been handed over to Sri Lanka. So pretty simple. If any deal has already been, or any agreement has already been made in 1974, then why to claim? Because you know that international relation is a subject of central government or union government. It is not the subject of the state government. Although there is some exception in case of Tamil Nadu and all, because it has a border with Sri Lanka, but it is more or less part of union government. So if union government has already made an agreement with the Sri Lanka, so why to unnecessary bother or unnecessarily destroy the relation with the Sri Lanka by claiming or making any false statement or making any political statement? So that's not required. Tamil fishermen refused to recognize this and venture it into water. So Tamil fishermen said that we are not agree with the union government decision. So it is our part. So that's why they do fishery activity and sometimes gets detained or arrested by the Sri Lankan forces. It's situated approximately 33 km northeast of Rameswaram and about 6 to 8 kilometers southwest of Jaffna. The island formation is attributed to volcanic eruption around 14th century. Historical development, it was initially under the control of Jaffna Kingdom. See, now understand the point. Initially, it was the part of Jaffna Kingdom, that is Sri Lanka. Now, this Jaffna Kingdom has gifted it to Ramananda, the ruler which I have already talked in the previous slide. So, they had gifted it to Ramananda and later passed to Ramanand Jamindari during 17th century. So, in 14th century is the part of Sri Lanka only, and they had gifted it to Ramananda. Kachatibu became the part of Madras Presidency during British colonial rule. Dispute between India and Sri Lanka over fishing boundary and territorial claims began in early 20th century. Reason behind negotiations, Sri Lanka claimed sovereignty over Kachatibu based and Portuguese occupation. India argued that former Raja of Ramananda had possession of island and territory. So the main point why India is saying, or why Tamil Nadu government is saying that it should be part of Tamil Nadu, because it was a part of Raja Ramananda. But it was gifted to Raja Ramananda by Jaffna Kingdom of Sri Lanka in the past. Okay. But anyhow, the main we should focus on 1974 agreement, and by 1974 agreement, it has been already handed over to Sri Lanka. So by union government stand, Kachatibu Island is a part of Sri Lanka. Sometime for political gimmick or political benefit or for the vote, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister unnecessarily makes claim it to be part of India. So as per UPSC purpose, you have to remember the name of that island, you have to remember the issue, and you have to remember the complete details of that. Tamil Nadu Assembly in 1991 sought to retrieve the Kachatibu. Okay, this issue has been recurring themes in Tamil Nadu politics. That means time and again raised by some or other politician in Tamil Nadu politics. So that's why we call it as a recurring theme. In 2008, Jayalalitha, AIDMK leader, challenged the ceding in court, stating it required a constitutional amendment. Despite political demand, union government maintained that India did not relinquish sovereignty over the island. So union government is clear on this, that this is not part of India, it is part of Sri Lanka only, because we have already made an agreement in 1974 and 1976. So that's all about that news. Next is we have anti-ragging policies in India. Okay, it is about anti-ragging policies. I hope you have already gone through your colleges days, and you know that there is a hard anti-ragging policy. But in the previous week, or you can say the last week, 18-year or I think 18 or 22-year student has died in Yadavpur University of West Bengal, and since then it is in the news. So many questions has been raised over this, that why ragging should be allowed in the college. An 18-year-old undergraduate student tragically lost his life after falling from second floor of his hostel within the Jadavpur University campus of Kolkata. The student's family alleged that he was subjected to ragging, bringing to light the issue of ragging in education institution. So again, the question in this arises that educational institutions should have proper guideline or proper system how to stop ragging. In this next slide, ragging has been defined, that what is ragging. Although ragging is a ragging, but we divide in the three. Okay. Am I? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just give me a second. Due to some technical reason, I think this board has been switched off. हेलो यार, ये क्लास चलाते चलाते ऑफ ना हो। मुझे नहीं पता था। हेलो, ये यार तुम क्लास चलाते चलाते यहाँ नेट ये ऑफ करा दिए। ठीक ठीक, तुम बिल्कुल यार तुम बिना दिमाग वाला काम करते हो। सीधा जो है जब क्लास चल रही थी, क्लास के बाद भी काम हो सकती थी। मुझे पता नहीं था, किसको पता होता है। अब देखो वहां पे जाके बोर्ड। हेलो। Okay, I hope I'm audible. light was got restored now. So next topic we are going, which we are studying anti-ragging laws or policies in India. So what just I have said that why it is in the news that last week, you can say a boy has done suicide in the Jadavpur University, and due to that it is in the news. If we talk about ragging, division of ragging, the types of ragging, it's mild, it's recognized ragging, and severe ragging. Any type of ragging is banned in educational institute. The first point is this. Supreme Court has also given its verdict. Ragging was defined by the Supreme Court as disorderly conduct, including words or action causing annoyance, hardship, psychological harm, or embarrassment. So any type of system or any type of these things can be, if used, then it will be categorized as ragging. Sometimes UPSC can ask that what is the ragging and how a ragging is defined by Supreme Court. So you must note it down, the words that has been defined by the Supreme Court, because UPSC had such habit to ask the question that what is ragging in the eye of Supreme Court. So according to Supreme Court, any type of disorderly conduct, including words or action. So it's not only about action, it's about words also, causing annoyance, hardship, psychological harm, embarrassment to a fresher, junior student. Ragging aims to derive sadistic pleasure or asserts power over junior. So any type of these things which is done with any junior student by the senior, Supreme Court has defined the ragging clearly. Now, if we divide the ragging, it involves mild ragging, involves common practice like introductions and following instruction, established hierarchy, and introduce newcomers to the institutional culture. So it comes under mild ragging, although it is a ragging, but it's a mild ragging. Then recognized ragging include actions like drinking, smoking, sexualized behavior. Then severe ragging involves physical abuse, coercion, and violent assault. So these are the categorization of, you can say, ragging. What is the legal provision? Ragging isn't a distinct offense, but can be penalized under different section of Indian Penal Code. For instance, wrongful restraint and wrongful confinement. अगर किसी को बंदी बनाया गया है या फिर किसी को जबरदस्ती रोका गया है, तो इस केस में रैगिंग का जो है सेक्शन 339 ऑफ इंडियन पैनल कोड एंड सेक्शन 340 ऑफ इंडियन पैनल कोड अप्लाई होता है. सम स्टेट लाइक केरला हैव स्पेसिफिक एंटी रैगिंग लॉ with the provision for suspension or dismissal of accused student. So since you know that Kerala education literacy rate is high, so they had made certain specific recommendations, certain specific law against the ragging. According to me, or we can say that every educational institution should have a different law for the ragging, or a state should have a strict law for the ragging, so that such type of incident should not repeat it. Supreme Court involvement in ragging. In 2001 case, the Supreme Court addressed ragging as a menace and preventing the educational institute for the country. So Supreme Court has, you can say, termed ragging as a menace. So you can say Supreme Court is very against this process. Okay, the case was filed by Vishwa Jagriti Mission against the central government. So the first case was filed by Vishwa Jagriti Mission against the central government regarding the ragging. The court definition of ragging is comprehensive. Any disorderly conduct, which are already defined about the court definition, which you can note it down. Key guidelines were issued to the combat ragging institution to establish proctoral committee. So how to stop ragging? So every institute should have a proctoral level officer who will look into this ragging process. Reporting unmanageable or criminal ragging to the police. So if any type of ragging which is unmanageable for the institution should be reported to police, and FIR should be lodged against that person who is doing the same. In 2009, Supreme Court appointed a committee headed by the former CBI director R.K. Raghavan to address the ragging issue. The committee recommendations were adopted by the University Grant Commission UGC as forward guideline to prevent the ragging at higher education. So we can see that Supreme Court and government both are clear against the ragging policies. Both are saying that ragging is against any institutional policy, but more or less institution is still not able to curb the ragging process. So it should be implemented strictly. And if institute is not able to do so, then the state should come in between, because it's the life of the student. And it is, you can say, worse that a student is losing its life due to ragging. Okay, so that's not the way how it should be. Okay, next topic we have, why Shimla is crumbling. It's not a current affair topic, because tsunami, you can say natural disaster, these are some topic which is very generic topic which you read in ecology and environment. And you know that what are the causes of this? What are the things which cause this? Why Simla is crumbling and why so much heat is there? We have read from childhood about global warming. I hope it starts from the class 5th or 6th itself. What is global warming? How world is facing this global warming? What are the gases that involves global warming? And it, you can say it is extending now beyond that. What I have said in the introductory part itself, that nature has its own way of revenge. If you disturb the nature, nature has its own way of revenge. So nature is making its own way. Like suppose this river is flowing, you are making a building in the river. So for 1 or 2 year river will flow, you can say make some different route. Once a day will come when river will say, no, I will flow on the same route which I was used to be flowing. And when river will come on its own, then it will go on by destroying your building and all. So that's what happening in Simla. River is taking its old route, and on those old route, you can say long buildings or long infrastructure has been erected. And due to this, those structure getting, you can say, washed away by the water or washed away by the landslide and all. So this is in the news, and I hope you might have seen so many videos which are viral on social media site regarding the flood in the Simla and cloud burst in the Simla. What is the way to stop it? We cannot take panga from nature. That's the only way to stop it. Okay, reason for the destruction. The first point, it is written about climate change prediction. IPCC report forecast heightened extreme climate event and modified rainfall pattern in Himalayas and coastal region. So the first region which has been highlighted here, that what is happening in Sri Lanka is a climate change prediction. So region what is happening in Himachal Pradesh or Simla is the first region. It is a climate change prediction. It has been already predicted that the hilly state and Himalaya will face extreme climate, that is extreme rainfall, and due to that this is happening. Then the next point, which is human effort, you can say, or causes of human. The first point, climate change prediction, although it is human effort, but it is indirect. Human has done human is still responsible for the climate change. But if we talk about direct effort of the human, it is infrastructure development challenge, which have been created by the human. We are building all weather road in the hilly areas, and those road has been built by cutting trees or destroying the forest. So now the nature is taking its revenge. Poorly located structure like the summer hill, temple, and water supply system within the dog. House built atop of water spring leading to disaster vulnerability. Proximity to water sources, susceptibility to disaster. Simla has over 25 major springs and 100 water. Building strategy and transformation post 1990s shift towards the reinforced cement concrete building strategy. Okay, so hilly areas should have its own building laws. Recently, the principal secretary of Himachal has said that that hilly areas residents should be abiding building laws, but they are not abiding building laws. Okay, they are constructing building here and there, and that is causing damage to those buildings. If we want to summarize this topic, we can say that it is such thing that it's a war between development and nature. If we took the route of development and nature coming in the mid path of that development, then we have to somewhat alter the nature. Once we do that, nature comes back to us in its form. Okay, simple. Human is here. In the middle, the path of development is there, and nature is sitting here. Or you can say nature is sitting in the mid and development is sitting here. Now, since human has to reach to the development, he has to go through the nature. The other way possible in this, that making synchronization or making coordination with the nature, which we generally call sustainable development. Again, a very popular topic which you are reading from class 6 itself about sustainable development. But who cares? Especially developing nation. Developed nation is very cautious about this sustainable development. They are checking the carbon emission. They are checking on every point which could be done for the securing the nation. But if we talk about developing nations, they are not doing that. And that's why we are facing the wrath of the, you can say, climate. Okay. What is the other way around? Either we should stop doing development project because we need roads in the hilly area, and if we are doing that, we will face all such type of calamity. So that's why I've said that only way around is that we have to in coordinates with the nature. If nature is you can say will come its own you can say form, then we cannot be anything could be done in that. Impact of climate change infrastructure in Shimla: disrupted water flow. We have disrupted the water flow in the path of water. We have constructed buildings, we have constructed road. So once the river flows in those paths, it destroys that road, it destroys that building. Inadequate infrastructure planning may disrupt natural water flow. Structure obstruct waterways, intensify flood risk. Vulnerability to extreme event. Climate-induced extreme event like heavy rainfall can lead to infrastructure damage. Yes, we agree that something is not in our hand, like extreme climate is not in our hand. We generally prepare for the normal climate and day-to-day climate activity. But if there is something extreme like COVID was not in anyone's hand. Okay. So that's also the case. It's not like the planning and infrastructure is only the responsible part. The vulnerability due to extreme event is also responsible. Need for adaptation. What I have already said, that we need to adopt the nature and we have to live with the nature coordinates. Climate resilient infrastructure is essential to cope up with the changing climate pattern. Strategic location planning, integrating water management and disaster preparedness are crucial. So these are the some you can say advice only we can give, or we can only think that it should not be repeated, or we can be hopeful only. We cannot do anything much in this. Shimla has been governed by an interim development plan since 1979. Planning and overseen by the town and country planning department instead of elected city government. Lack of democratic oversight, reliance on computer simulated plan from consultancy firm. So these are the reasons given the negative point why the Shimla is facing this wrath. Shimla development plan and climate action. SDP pending before Supreme Court lacks a climate action plan and focuses urban spaces but neglect climate related challenge. So that's what I have already said, that people or the people in the hills are only looking for the development. They are not taking climate along with the development. So that's why this issue has been arrived. Importance of zonal and subzonal planning. This can be done. Need for zonal and subzonal planning in Shimla due to unique geographical feature. Okay, so every zone should have its own planning, that yeah, this zone, how much climate can affect this zone, and accordingly a plan or infrastructure should be created in that zone. The zone which is more vulnerable to the climate action, so that zone should have less population, and only population in those areas which have in that zone, only population should be in those areas which have good climatic accumulation or something like that. So meaning is simple. It should be divided into zonal and subzonal, and accordingly, as per the climate planning, the infrastructure should be built in those areas. Zones and subzones must be defined based on geological data. Okay, that is previous data should be analyzed, that how climate can impact, how much climate can impact. Accordingly, zone and subzone should be divided. Floor area ratio determined by geological and structural foundation, balancing urban development and geological preservation. So these are the some points which can be done in the hilly areas to protect those areas. Okay. Next topic we have is what are concerned about drilling in North Sea. What is this? First, let us understand the topic. It is about drilling the North Sea bed. Offshore drilling it is. It is expected that there is some resource or mineral in the North Sea offshore. Okay. And Prime Minister, or you can say Britain, has taken permission to drill in those areas. Now, what is the problem? This North Sea area is a continental shelf. I hope you have read basic geography and you know that how this continent and this self and all, continental shelf, about that you might have read in basic geography. If not, you will read that. Continental shelf is the due to that only the result of so many continent has been derived from that shifting of that continental shelf. So it is the area, this North Sea is the area of continental shelf. Now, if any type of drilling will be done in this area, it will impact other continent as well. Since Britain is doing drilling in this area and they have already taken permissions for the drilling, it will impact other country. So they are opposing that. So on the news this much only, that continent shelf, this North Sea is sitting on the continent shelf. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak supported new fossil fuel drilling of Britain coast. Okay, so they are drilling on this Britain coast, and this area where they are planning to drill, is on the continental shelf. So other country is opposing that. So North Sea lie between several countries. In 1958, Geneva Convention on the Continental Shelf established country right over their continental shelf. UK passed the Continental Shelf Act in 1964 based on 1958 convention, and Britain Prime Minister, or you can say Britain Petroleum, received the first exploration license in the UK North Sea in 1964 and discovered the natural gas oil in the subsequent year. So Britain is saying that we have already discovered natural resources in those areas and we are keen to drill those areas. But other countries are opposing it because it is the area of continental shelf and other country may get damage due to that. Exploration in the North Sea lead to establishment of multiple installations for oil and gas production. Production peaked in 1990 but since declined significantly. So initially there was a discovery but slowly it started decreasing. Offshore drilling poses risks to workers, marine life and environment. So this is how it is causing the risk. So that's why other country and environment activists are opposing this. It contributes to climate change by warming ocean, raising sea levels and increasing the carbon pollution. So this can be the result of offshore drilling of North Sea. So that's why it is opposed. Acidic water resulting from carbon pollution can harm marine ecosystem and biodiversity, including coral, reefs, and shellfish. So this can be done. So if we want to summarize this topic, it's simple. Britain wants to drill in the offshore of North Sea, and they have a proper permission for that. But environmental activists and other countries saying that it will damage marine life, it can cause different type of sea problem and all that, marine issue and all. So that's why they are opposing that. Britain is keen to do offshore drilling. Energy mix post net zero needs for UK. Why UK is keen for drilling? We have just read negative part of that, why it should not be done. But why it should be done? The first point is energy mix post net zero. UK post 2050 net zero emission goal. About 25% of energy demand remain reliant on oil and gas. So they need oil and gas, and so to fulfill that demand, they need to drill in the North Sea of offshore North Sea drilling. Domestic energy emphasis, they need to meet the demand of domestic energy. Climate goals and doubt, UK's committee to net zero emission by 2025. So they have set a goal of net zero emission by 2050. So they need mineral resource for that. Concern arising about effective climate target achievement, climate preparedness gap, Climate Change Committee report in March 2023, and UK insufficient readiness for the climate change. So the in viewpoint of UK, why they need to do this drilling, although it is getting opposed by other country. So they are giving 2-3 points to us. They are saying that they need new mineral energy resources. Point one, they have set a target of net zero carbon emission by 2050. That means India have target of reducing 30% carbon emission by 2050, but Britain has set a target of complete net zero emission. So that only can be done if new mineral and energy resource can be discovered. So that's why they are doing offshore drilling. This is the name of organization, North Sea Transition Authority. This authority only has a authority, you can say, to give permissions of drilling in the sea areas or to discover any mineral. Any country want to discover, or any country want a drilling in the sea areas or offshore drilling, then they need to take permission from this authority. Britain has already taken permission, but it is getting opposed by other country and environmentalists. So I've already explained both the part, why it should be done, why it should not be done. So you can read in detail. Next topic is why onion price is rising. Simple logic of this is, only way, if production is less, the demand will be higher and the price will be higher. Simple thing is that. Why onion price is rising? One more can be hoarding. It can be the things that so many onion can be hoarded by the you can say middleman, and due to that price can be rise. Other factor can be export. Sales. Indian onion had good market in Bangladesh and some other country. So it would be the possibility that the Indian onion you can say producer has exported the onion in higher quantity. So in India, it gets short. Okay, so that's why that can be the cause. But we are reading that what are the causes of onion. Third can be due to unforeseen circumstances like weather changes and all, it could be that the production of onion might have got hampered, and due to that the production of onion, due to that price of onion is rising. So these are the 4-5 factors. One can be hoarding, other can be export, third can be production, and the fourth can be the weather changes and all. So these are the 4-5 factors which impact on the price of any product. Like last current affair, we have discussed about the rise of tomato price. It went up to 150 or 120, something like that. So this time we are reading about the onion price rising. So why the price of any commodity rises? These are the 4-5 reasons that why a price of any commodity rise. So that I've already said. After a long slump, onion price rise again in the causing the concern for the central government. And you know that onion we need for our day-to-day, you can say, home cooking. So it will you can say impact the household. Okay, India ranks second globally in onion cultivation, and Indian onions are known for their availability year-round. So it is a crop which we generally use for complete year. Onions are grown 3 crop cycle, primarily associated with the Rabi season. I hope you know that there are primarily 2 seasons, Rabi season and Kharif season for the crop production. India cultivate red, white and yellow onion varieties. Some yellow onion varieties are suitable for export to European country. Cultivation practice, onion are grown from seed through bulb to bulb. So this is not important that much. Region for onion price surge. So this is a very important part. Any product, if the price is rising, it can be asked the reason for that. So onion prices have surged significantly since August. Prices at wholesale market from 1370 quintal from August 1 to 2050 quintal. So it was 1370 per quintal. Now it is 2050 per quintal. So if we talk about kg, it could be have reached up to 100 or 150 kg. Shortage of stored onion and lower than the expected contribute to the price rise. Onion cultivation isn't year round like other vegetable. Last year dip in onion lead to the current situation, and unseasonal rain and hailstorm in March and April affected the Rabi crop. So that's what I have already said. There can be the 4 reasons: low production, unseasonal rain or hailstorm. Since it's not a year-round crop, so less storage also can be one of the cause. If it has not been stored, suppose we have predicted that this year so many metric tons of onion can be used by country, but if it get increased by that, then obviously the price will increase, or excess of export, which I've already said. So these are the 4 regions which I've already explained and which is written here also. So that's how about the price of onion rise. Okay. High export demand for Indian onions in international market, especially Bangladesh, West Asia increased, and due to that, Indian government is doing that export rate. India has increased the export rate on onion, so that you can say the exporter will get discouraged and will sell in the Indian market. So demand for Indian onion in international market, especially Bangladesh and West Asia, increased. Exporters signed contract at lower price before price surge. Export duty, 40% of export duty introduced to discourage the export and ensure local supply. So government has taken a step and has increased the export duty so that it can be remain in Indian market. Government intention export duty aims to retain the onion within the country to stabilize the local market. We cannot do much in this. Every year there can be seen the instances where price of one commodity or other commodity get increased, and region being the same. It can be hoarding, it can be export, production, or something like that. Export duty might lead to some price corrections. Kharif crop concerned, moisture stress affecting Kharif onion crop. Okay, so one can be one more way of reducing the crop prices to grow it throughout the year. Since onion is a Rabi crop only, so if we develop a pattern, or if we have enough, you can say rainfall or something like that, or we you can say human effort, so that onion can be grown as a Kharif crop as well. So then production can be checked. Overall impact, balancing export and import demand and local supply. So these are the 3, 4, 5 things which can be done to check the supply of onion and to demand and all. Next topic, we have a national award. It is just for your reference that which movie had got national award this year. So I have just make a slide. You can read it down. I'm just not going to read one by one. So it is the movie name of the movie. Like Triple R has won 6 awards. Gangubai Kathiawadi wins 5 awards. Although there is less chances of this to be asked in exams because UPSC do not ask such things, but just for your reference, you can go through because you never know what UPSC can ask. So these are the 4 or 5 major news. I hope all the news are clear to you. Just I am referring to the first part, what we have covered today. Okay. So these are the 6, 7 news which I have covered today. The first was, should CGI be the part of committee of Chief Election Commission? I have already discussed it is the role of executive to decide the appointment. But morally or ethically, it would be right if CGI would be the part of this. It could have looked more neutral. Next, about BRICS, I have already discussed. Earlier, it has a 5 member. Now, 6 new members has been added in this. And recently, it has been concluded in the Johannesburg, where Prime Minister Modi has visited just now. About Kacha-Thivu Island, I have discussed. This island is part of Sri Lanka, but time and again, due to politics, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister say that it should be the part of India. But in 1974 agreement, we had handed it over to the Sri Lanka. So Union government is standing clear on this. Next topic we had read about anti-ragging laws in India. We have read some of the case study, that is Supreme Court verdict, and we have read that how Supreme Court has defined ragging. Why Shimla is crumbling? A very generic topic. Again, I am saying that because it is related to climate change and how climate change can destroy a beautiful city. Shimla is an example. Even previous year, I think 3-4 months before, we have read about Badrinath and how cracks are developing in the Badrinath area of Uttarakhand. So that we have also discussed at that time. What are the concerns about drilling in North Sea? That I have already discussed. Why are onion prices rising? And national award. These are the major news in last 7 days. And one more you can say that is Chandrayaan. So this have been discussed. Let's discuss some of the MCQ, which can be beneficial for you, which might left in the news, but it can be discussed in the form of MCQ. So let's start one by one. The first question of today is, consider the following statement about ad hoc judges. I hope you might be aware what is ad hoc judges. Ad hoc means temporary. They are not permanent, but some ad hoc judges hire for the temporary purpose. So ad hoc is a temporary judges. So the question is asked that when ad hoc judges is appointed, the first option here given is they are appointed under Article 229 of the Indian Constitution of India. No, it is under 224. So it is the wrong. The first one is the wrong. They are appointed to deal with the backlog cases. So second one is the right. They are generally appointed for to deal with the backlog cases, and even sometimes they are appointed for quorum. I hope you are aware about quorum. Suppose Supreme Court judges strength is 34, 33 plus 1, Chief Justice of India. If 10% of this is not present or not appointed, then the quorum is not complete. In such cases, ad hoc judges are appointed to complete the quorum. So ad hoc judges have a 2 purpose to meet. The first purpose is a temporary judge to clear the backlog cases, and the second purpose is to complete the quorum in case quorum is not completed. So these are the 2 points for the if we talk about this option and all, the only 2 option is correct. The first one is wrong. If you want to know the exact article, you can see here it is 224A. Clause A is the one which deal with the appointment of ad hoc judges. Okay. Next question. With reference to contingency fund, consider the following statement. First of all, let's explain what is contingency fund. It is emergency fund. You know that Parliament cannot take any money or any penny out of you can say means without the permission of the bill, or that they have to pass the budget for everything. So that's why contingency fund is maintained. So any emergency, like suppose tsunami or something like that, any emergency has occurred. In that case, this contingency fund can be used, and for this, there need not to pass any budget. Just you need to take the precedent of president. So president just approve, and that fund can be used. Okay, so that is called contingency fund. Now the option 1 is Parliament may by law establish a contingency fund. Fund shall be placed at the disposal of Prime Minister. The fund is used to meet unforeseen expenditure. The third one is the correct one. The first for the fund should is used to meet unforeseen expenditure. So correct. The second point is fund shall be placed at the disposal of Prime Minister. No, it is should be the should placed in the president, in front of president for the disposal. So second point is the wrong, and the first point is the right. So first and so these two are the right. So only two will be the right answer. Okay. So it is not Prime Minister approval is not needed. We need to take president approval. Okay, you can read in detail. Article 264(7) of Indian Constituency deal with this contingency fund. In the polity, you will read it in detail. Consider the following statement regarding floating interest rate. What is floating interest rate? Just for example, suppose you have taken a loan of 1 lakh rupees and you are giving an interest of 3% or 4%, something like that. So that is a fixed interest rate. But suppose I am saying it is a floating interest rate. That means it can be 3% in first year, 4% in second year, 8% in third year. So the loan interest will depend on the market value. So that is called as a floating interest rate. The question is asked on the floating interest rate. Consider the following statement regarding floating interest rate. Floating rates are also called variable rate, and they are considered riskier than the fixed rate. Both 1 and 2 are right, because it will depend on the market. So if market value is increasing, then that will also be. So they are riskier than the fixed rate. Okay, so that I hope you have read in case of history about Jamindari system, Mahalwari system, and Royatwari system. In Royatwari and Mahalwari system, rate are variable rate was there, but in Jamindari system, rate were fixed. Okay, so it's like that, only floating rate. Okay, so both are the correct in this case. Okay, fourth question. I find it the most difficult. Such type of question, a feature is given and you have to correct the answer. It is on the environment. Okay, so the question is, it is a perennial shrub that grows in saline, arid or semi-arid environment. This type of question sometimes asked in UPSC. A paragraph would be given or some features of something is given in form of paragraph, and you have to guess what they are talking about. So a paragraph is given. I'll read the paragraph and I'll guess that. Okay, this is species belong to family of Amantaceae, and it was earlier known from Italy, Northern Africa, Palestine, Spain, and Western Sahara, but it has been reported for the first time in India based on collection made from Khadir Bait, Kutch, Gujarat. And the new plant species, according to the paper, is a perennial shrub that can grow 1 or 2 meters tall and have a smooth cylindrical woody base. So a feature of a crop has been given here, and you have to guess that crop. Okay, the option D is the correct one. I hope you have read this in environment. If not, it is in the 2-3 days back in Indian Express article. So there you can read that. Otherwise not, then we'll ask our content team to cover this month magazine. So from there you can get that. Consider the following statement regarding the World Meteorological Organization. Okay, it is a specialized agency of the United States. The correct. Okay. And the second option is the World Meteorological Congress meet at least every 5 years. No, they meet at every 4 years. So first one is the right one, second one is the wrong one. So option A would be the correct one. These are some basic MCQ just I am covering for your practice. Some might be finding that the topic has not been covered directly. MCQ has been dealt. Just the 10 MCQ I am just dealing just a general topic. It can be covered in the today's class as well. It might have not been covered in today's class as well, but it is important. Who among the following Indian freedom fighter was hanged to death for assassination of Sir William Hutchinson during a public meeting in London? I hope this everyone knows. It is Madan Lal Dhingra. So direct answer. Consider the following factor: demand and supply, cost of production, minimum 20% margin over cost of production, and previous year price. So these are the 4 factors given, and question is asked that while calculating MSP, which of the factor is taken into consideration? So question is asked while calculating MSP, which of these 4 factors taken into consideration? Okay, so let's see how many of these factors given have taken into account by the Commission for Agriculture, cost and prices for fixing support price MSP. Okay. So just look into the answer part. Okay, so what are the 4 factors in the last sections, you can see that demand and supply is considered. So first one is the right. Cost of production is considered. The second one is the right. Market trend is considered, third point, and the fourth is minimum 50% margin over cost of production. Hence, 3 is not correct. So only first 2 is the correct one. It is about MSP. When government calculate MSP, that how much MSP should be given on which crop, so government see these the 4 factors while calculating MSP. Okay, and government has this year selected 22 crops for the MSP. Although you know that it is not legal. If government has even given the name, state government cannot, it's not mandatory for state government to give MSP on all 22 crops. That's what the farmer demand is, that we should get MSP of all the crop. So farmer is demanding that MSP should be on all the crop, and they are demanding that Swaminathan report should be implemented for the MSP. But yes, central government has included 22 crops in the list of MSP, and it depends on a state that on which crops they will give MSP and all or not. But how MSP is fixed, it depends on these 4 factors. These are the 4 factors by which MSP on a crop is calculated. Like suppose wheat is in a MSP. So if central government will calculate the price of wheat for MSP, so central government will adopt these 4 methods for calculating price on MSP. Moving to the next question. With reference to fuel cell, in which hydrogen-rich fuel and oxygen are used to generate electricity, consider the following. You know that hydrogen is the future of energy. Okay, so if pure hydrogen is used as a fuel, the fuel cell emit heat and water byproducts. You know that water has hydrogen and oxygen both. So first one is the correct. Fuel cells can be used for powering buildings, not for a smaller device like laptop and computer. It is wrong. Fuel can be used for any purposes. Fuel cells produces electricity in the form of alternating current. Again, it is wrong. Fuel cell produces electricity in form of direct current, DC. So it is wrong. Only option 1 is the correct. Random forest technology, which was recently seen in the news, is used for predicting air quality index. So random forest technology is used for predicting air quality index. So option A is the correct one. Random forest technology is a technology which predicts the air quality index. Recently, Anup Baranwal versus Union of India, it is the same case which is related to CEC, Chief Election Commissioner. He is the person who has filed a case. I have already explained when I was discussing that topic that Anup Baranwal was one who filed a case regarding appointment of Chief Election Commissioner. So the option 1 is the correct one, although government has just taken opposite route of Supreme Court. So first one is the correct one. Next, I have included 2 mains questions for you. This you can write it down and submit the answer. The first question is discuss role and significance of National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, in enhancing India's disaster preparedness and response and mitigation effort. You can say very basic questions, but very important question. This question alone can solve 2-3 questions together. That is how India should be prepared for disaster management, how India should be prepared for rain or any unforeseen climate condition and all. So if you write this question completely, all 2-3 questions will be covered in that. Next question is assess the effectiveness of anti-ragging regulation and suggest a strategy to create more inclusive and respectful campus environment. Again, your thinking, it is nothing you cannot write anything from the book, and book will not discuss that. It's all about your thinking, what you think about ragging and how you will stop or how you will curb the ragging in the campus. So your UPSC will judge your writing skills in this. So some questions are there which does not need any previous background, just you need to write according to your thinking. The second question in that, we have included some of the approach and ways to write that answer. So I hope you will submit those answers, and you have already mail ID for those answers. Any question? Okay, thank you.